Hey guys, well, our dashboard has now been fixed and it's looking brand new. It was time to fit our speedhut gauges. So in this episode, we go through rewiring the entire dash harness and wiring up our brand new speedhut gauges. And while I was there, I decided to build a power distribution block so we could power up all our gauges and make sure everything's working correctly. All right, guys, let's get to work. Alright, so usually I don't mind a bit of wiring, but it's a bit more of a pain when you've got 40-year-old wiring with circuits and systems that I'm not familiar with. I mean, the Taco had wiring going into it here for an induction coil to create a magnetic field to make the Taco work. This is like 40-year-old technology. The Speedo had a voltage reducer here. This is like stuff I've had to research into. That's a voltage reducer to knock back the voltage to 9 volts so the Speedo can handle it. And everything, I'm going speedhut gauges, all new, all modern, all runs on 12 volts. And it's completely different to this, so it's been a bit of a headache, especially with a workshop manual that isn't correct for the year model of the car, so all the wiring colors are different. I've pretty much had to go through and probe each pin to make sure, check exactly what everything is for all the wiring. It took me a few hours to do. And these are all wired differently. Instead of positive and an earth for the globes, one wire input for the lights, earthed internally. But anyway, that's enough talk. There's a bit of wiring to do, bit of wiring to remove. So let's get to work. roughly fitted the harness to the dash. Mainly so I can see how long all these wires need to be for my pilot lights. And the additional harness I've had to make, which comes down to there, which will power my last 2 gauges. Anyway, to test it all, I thought I'd make a little power distribution box. Get it to run off M12 battery. So I've got some switches. I have one for battery power, one for ignition, and one for headlights. And I'll wire all that in and we'll be able to test our lights. Alright, so here's the center console for the dash. Usually this space will be taken up by all the air conditioning controls, but I'm not running aircon, so I'm going to sink my final 2 gauges into here. But as you can see, I need to mill this out, then plastic weld a flat sheet of plastic on the back, drill some 52mm holes, and then they'll sink in there nice and flush. So here is the final dash setup. I finally finished my center console piece. I'd lost 2 of my gauges when I went to the single gauge setup. I'd lost my volt gauge and my fuel gauge. So I bought 52mm versions. This panel here used to house the air conditioning controls, so I deleted that. I had to grind out and open up the hole significantly, and I plastic welded a piece of flat plastic sheet to the back, and I drilled it to fit the gauges. And honestly, now it's done, I'm not happy with the end result. So if we turn on our light, the gauges light up. Now I have my camera set at roughly my eye level. If I go a little bit higher, that's probably my eye level in relation to where the dash is going to sit in the car. And as you can see, both those gauges are not legible because I didn't realize how much that dashboard center slopes down and curves downwards. So I'm a bit disappointed with the end result, but I have a game plan. I have bought 2 52mm gauge cups, plastic ones, just off Amazon or eBay. I'm going to cut the ends off, making it a cylinder. I'm going to sink them into the dash, rotate them up, and plastic weld them in place from the back. And hopefully then I can put the gauges in and they'll be sitting at more of an angle where it will be readable. Alright, so now we have the new mounts for those bottom gauges, and I think it's a bit easier to read. Now they're angled up and they're a lot more legible. And that'll wrap up the build of the dashboard. Alright guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.